Hello everyone, you're watching CryptoDealers YouTube channel. My name is Rudian and today my guest is Mark Ansted, representative of Project Hydro. Hi Mark.
How's it going, guys? Really pumped to be on the CryptoDealers YouTube channel. I've seen a lot of your content before. Although I don't speak Russian, I'm pumped to be here and I hope you guys enjoy listening in. Just to give a little bit of an introduction about myself, I am the head of business. I'm the head of business development for Project Hydro. We have about 20 team members right now who are working in a DAO, and yeah, really pumped to be here.
Can you tell me more about your background and what have you been doing before joining the project, and what was your path to join the team of Hydro?
Sure. So before I joined Project Hydro, I was doing marketing and business development for an organization called Cryptocurrency Network, which is a platform on social media, like primarily Facebook, who does advertising, interviews, reviews, stuff like that. And during that time, I was doing a lot of research on projects who were outside of the top 100 in market cap. And that was actually around the same time when I started reading about Hydro, along with some other projects that I found interest in. And it really sparked a lot of passion for what they were doing. And I just really wanted to get involved.
Okay, can you explain what is your area of responsibility right now in the project?
Sure. So I'm doing a lot of the conversations with a bunch of different exchanges, and I am doing a lot of communication with different companies, projects, about putting together partnerships for the different protocols and APIs that Project Hydro has. So we have 6 different phases that we're releasing. The first phase, which is Raindrop, and that deals with authentication. So it's basically like logging in onto like different websites, stuff like that. It's like an alternative to Google Authenticator or Authy. And then like the second phase, which is Snowflake, and that deals with the digital identity. And that's where we're really getting a lot of interest right now, because you can do a lot of different things with that, whether it's onboarding users for KYC, you can build different D-apps, like to play games, stuff like that. And have it tied to like an identity. Third phase. Oh.
Okay, continue.
The third phase is ICE, which deals with document management, document signing, and have all of that stuff stamped onto the blockchain. The fourth phase is like a payment protocol called Tide, which allows you to do like recurring payments using smart contracts, and you can build like a bunch of different types of D-apps with that. The fifth phase is Mist, which deals with AI D-apps, and then the final one is Hail, which deals with security tokenization.
Okay, I actually have some further. I have questions regarding some products and systems and services that you have, so let's keep that. So regarding your area of responsibility, is you're basically a business like business development management manager of business development. That's
correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Spot.
Talking about your like big checkpoint achievements, I know that you already have things like Android and iPhone apps. Do you have any maybe special for us, or just some updates on releases that are going to happen in 2019?
Yeah, sure. We have like a lot of releases that we're going to have soon. Snowflake, which I've mentioned prior, which is that digital identity management protocol and API, that will be released along with our DApp store in the coming weeks. Snowflake is already finished. We're just building like a bunch of tools for it and different DApps to be released along with the DApp store. So to my knowledge, I think that's going to be the first DApp store that will be launched. Don't mark my words for that because I'm not 100% sure about it. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be one of the first DApp stores to be released. And all of those phases and protocols that I've mentioned should be finalized and pushed on. They should be like live on the Ethereum blockchain, like live on the main net, all by the end of 2019.
Okay, let's talk more about the ecosystem, Hydro ecosystem. I have a bunch of things that I would like to hear an explanation, and I would like you to tell me what it is. So first thing is Hydro ID, and then Hydro Pay. Hydro 2FA is the authenticator, right? The one you talk about.
Yes.
Hydro Docs and Hydro AI.
Okay.
It's a surprise for me that just one of the things I called matches what you've been talking about earlier. This means that you have really a lot of things coming up. So please tell me about this.
Sure. So I will start off with Hydro ID. So whenever you are going to go and use like a resolver, which is like the dashboard on Snowflake. So basically when you go on to like the Snowflake dashboard, you basically create a Hydro ID. And you can also have a Hydro ID on your like iOS or Android device when you go and use the 2FA for the first time. Mm-hmm. It'll basically show up like on your phone, like this is your Hydro ID. And that is actually stamped onto the public blockchain. It actually goes on Ethereum. And so you can think about your Hydro ID similar to like a public address, whether it's on like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So anybody can go and see your Hydro ID. It's like open to the public, but in order to access the information on that ID, you need like the seed words or like the private key to get the access to like those private documents. So it's sort of similar in the aspect of like a Bitcoin or Ethereum wallet. So the second one is Hydro Pay. So that goes, I guess, hand in hand with Tide, which is our payment protocol. And that will be released in Q3 of this year. So Tide is essentially a protocol that allows you to build different types of DApps, whether it's for like subscription payments or just like different types of recurring payments, whether it's B2B, P2P, B2P, and there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. So that's Hydro Pay. So, and then Hydro 2FA is actually live right now. Anybody can integrate it. These are all going to be open source, by the way. And you can integrate it onto a website, and it's the 2FA specifically is free for anybody to use. It does not require use of the Hydro token. So it's free for you and it's free for the end user. So you can think of the 2FA similar to like a Google Authenticator or Authy solution, because it works as a two-factor authentication. However, it is blockchain based, and the login process is far more secure, and it can actually help protect the end user from being phished. So in order to basically hack into this 2FA, the hacker will need to basically hack in on the network to then be able...
Excuse me, we lost connection. The hacker would need to do what?
The hacker will need to basically gain access to every single device. So like you download the app onto your phone. That hacker will need to have access to every single device to be able to log in onto your account, because they don't know which device you're using, because you're given six numbers on a website. So like, let's say you are logging in onto, like, what's an exchange that you use?
OKEX, for example.
Okay, so if you log in on OKEX, and they have the 2FA solution, like the Hydro 2FA solution integrated, they will basically pop up 6 numbers that you have to enter in onto your phone. Mm-hmm. Now with Google Authenticator and Authy, you do it the reverse. You have the numbers on your phone and you enter it in onto the website. So it basically does it in the reverse manner, so it's a lot more secure, and it basically knows that you're the one signing in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
So Hydro Docs, that is basically, that's going to go along with ICE, which deals with document management and document signing. So you'll be able to build different DApps that enable you to sign and then stamp documents onto the blockchain. So this is really beneficial for like real estate, or like I would say real estate is one of the biggest use cases for that. So if you have like different agreements, then you can basically stamp those onto the blockchain. So it's really beneficial, and you can also build like different DApps for like getting like a notary. So if you want to go to a lawyer and say like, hey, like I need to have something like written up, like I got in trouble or yada yada yada, and you want them to like write up a document for you, then you can basically say like, hey, I will pay you these Hydro tokens once that document is finalized, and basically put that into escrow, and he'll receive the payment once that's all finished. So it uses smart contracts for that.
Okay, all done inside the system.
Correct. And then Hydro AI is basically what Mist is. So that will enable you to build different DApps that utilize AI. Now, it's not going to be like back-end artificial intelligence. It's all going to be stuff that you can do like on the front end on like different websites and stuff like that. There hasn't been a whole lot released about what Mist is going to entail, because right now we're working on releasing the white paper for Tide, which is the 4th phase, which will be released in Q3 of this year, and then Mist will be right after that.
Okay. Another thing from your website is on the website it says that the goal of Hydro from the very beginning was to create a decentralized financial ecosystem and supporting Web 3.0. Can you tell more in more details and your vision about Web 3.0 overall?
Sure. So I guess this kind of goes back to how Project Hydro or Hydro originated. It was created by a fintech company in New York City called Hydrogen. And back in 2017, there was in the U.S. there was a massive hack into a company called Equifax, and I think there was like 150 million people who were affected by this. Now, if they were using blockchain solutions to protect their users' documents and identities, all of that information wouldn't have been leaked. So that's kind of how they saw that idea, and they were like, man, like we really need to bring about a blockchain solution for this. Like, this is an incredible use case. So that's essentially how the vision for Hydro came about. And so since they were a fintech organization, they basically saw it as an opportunity to bring about a decentralized financial ecosystem supporting the Web 3.0. Now, Hydro, using like the different protocols and stuff like that, it doesn't have to specifically be towards fintech. You can use it in a bunch of different industries. So it doesn't have to be like solely towards like finance and stuff like that. You can basically be using it in a whole bunch of different industries. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize, but because it was, I guess, created by Hydrogen, and they're one of like the sole developers on top of Hydro, people see it like specifically towards fintech. And for me specifically, seeing is like how the web, I think we're kind of seeing like the tip of the iceberg in terms of where I guess blockchain and like the Web 3.0 is going. A lot of large enterprises and companies and corporations are starting to, I guess, dabble into this. We saw just recently Facebook acquired a blockchain company to try and build like different blockchain solutions. I mean, I think we all saw that one coming sooner or later. And I know that there are a lot of these big tech companies are starting to see the benefit of some of these different solutions. And I think the key to bringing about mass adoption is not having to actually know that you're using blockchain, or like blockchain is actually being used. Because if you go up to like your average Joe or your parents and be like, oh yeah, I'm using blockchain, they're all just going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I have no idea what that means, man. Like, come on. Because I was talking with someone about this like just a couple days ago, and he was like, yeah, like if I go to like one of the truckers who's like on my supply chain team, he's not going to know what the hell a blockchain is. He doesn't know what that is. But if you say like, hey, like enter this data on here, like he'll be like, okay, like I can do that. You just have to make everything as simple as possible, especially on like the front end, like with what we're seeing, and make sure that we know that like the blockchain is being utilized like as a an underlying layer. I think that's really the key for it.
I'd like to talk about Eastern Europe as for our area of media and our viewers. How's it going with development in East Europe overall, and about a community? Do you have Russian-speaking community already, or maybe you have Russian-speaking people in the team, or if you're like having plans to come into this market, are you talking to any, I don't know, website, media resource, or exchange maybe?
Sure. So in terms of Eastern Europe, we have two team members who are actually from Eastern Europe. They're both located in Turkey. One is doing PR and the other one does graphics design. So he builds like different cool, I guess, stuff for media and all that fun stuff. And then we have another guy who focuses in on business development, who is actually from the Netherlands, and he travels pretty much all over Europe. And I mean, he's every time I'm talking to him, he's like, "All right, like I gotta go. I'm jumping on a flight." Traveling all over Central and Eastern Europe to communicate with different companies, going to different meetups. And just communicating with a lot of different people about what Hydro is and I guess what we're doing as a project and an organization. So in terms of Russian-speaking people on the team, currently we do not have any. But if you do find yourself, if Project Hydro resonates with something that you have interest in, we'd love to have you apply to join the team. Anybody can apply, and if we like your application, it's really not that hard of an application. You have to go basically say who you are, some of your experience, what Project Hydro basically means to you, and where you see the future of the Web 3.0, and rate a little bit.
Do you have a special contact email or some page or a link that we could include in the description so people can head over to maybe a certain person that does HR maybe?
Yeah, sure. We have like a link that basically explains all of the different requirements for becoming like a part of the team. You can call us like a DA or like a decentralization ambassador. Those are all the people who are basically running the project. And I'll share a link with you to put in the description. But if you would like to email the team, you can email us at da@projecthydro.org.
Okay. We will include everything in description also.
Cool. In terms of like a Russian-speaking community, we actually have gained a decent amount of traction in terms of like people who are from Russia or speak Russian. We have like a lot of different, I guess you can call them unofficial Telegram groups, and have all of these, I guess, communities who speak different languages. Our main one is English, like our main Telegram group. But we have a ton of different groups for all of these different languages, so people can speak about Hydro and I guess different developments and different ideas they might have for the project. I think there's a few.
Let's clear about the Telegram group. You said you have like Russian speaking Telegram group that is unofficial. Does that mean that it is just made by fans? And
correct.
So it's not your like official Hydro group. It's just fans made it and then talking about your project in it. That's right?
Correct. Yeah. So
awesome.
we have like our main Telegram group, I think, has like 9,000 or 10,000 people in there, and then people have like, I guess, branched off into different Telegram groups and communities to speak, whether it's in like their own language or talk about like TA, about like the token and like price, stuff like that, because we don't allow that in like the main group. We want the focus to be about development and I guess what the project is doing and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see like all of the different like communities blossoming and showing interest in what we're doing.
Okay, but apart from the groups that were formed and made by themselves, do you have any plans in the project to go in to become a part of CIS crypto market in an official way? So to turn marketing into this side of the world, and I don't know, do meetups and again become a part of like list on exchanges and things like that. Are there plans for that?
Yes, we're obviously we're talking to like a bunch of different exchanges right now. I recently started communicating with an exchange to try and bring like a fiat to crypto, I guess, to bring the ability to use fiat and directly buy hydro tokens. And I don't know like the details about that, and I don't want to give out too much information about it because I don't want to like break any NDAs.
Can you not name the exchange, but can you give a clue of what kind of fiat is it going to be?
I don't know specifically what type of fiat it will be. Like we just started communicating this past week, so we're still, I guess, under the review process and all of that, and trying to, I guess, hammer out different details in that aspect. It's kind of a pain in the butt talking to exchanges if you haven't before. It's a very, very slow process.
And they want a lot of money.
Yes, yes, that's the big kicker. And I mean, we haven't paid for any exchanges before or any listings. And to be perfectly honest, we don't have like an interest in paying to be listed on an exchange. Mostly because we don't really have like the funding for it. We never had an ICO or any initial funding for the project. So we really can't, because we're using that funding for development. And we should have a marketing budget in the next couple months. We're ironing some stuff out in terms of legality and how that would work. Because we don't want it to be paying people for like marketing, and it's kind of funky with the U.S. because we haven't officially created our I guess our company headquarters, which we're going to have in the Cayman Islands, I believe.
You mean becoming legal in US, we would say, not you're not talking about CIS right now?
No. So I'm talking about like, so since Hydrogen, like the company, they are still, I guess, I don't want to say they're governing, but they are still essentially like, they do like the payouts for like the HCDP program, which is our development program. So like if people want to get involved in development, whether it's building like plugins, dApps, or like different smart contracts, they can earn Hydro tokens. I think right now we have like 50 million Hydro up for grabs in terms of helping out with development. And right now, with being a U.S. company, there's a lot of legal restrictions in terms of what that money can be used for. So until we have the company set up and registered in, I guess, like a foreign country that is more crypto friendly, we can't really use any of those HCDP funds for other stuff.
Okay. So what you mean is before you become legal in the States, you cannot really go out to other countries like Europe and other parts of the world officially?
Oh, so it's not in terms of being like legal in the U.S. So like Hydro is obviously like legal in the U.S. It's basically what the company Hydrogen is able to pay people for. So if they were paying people for marketing or different things like that, it would work very funky in terms of like taxes and accounting, because they're a legally registered company in the United States, and if you're not from the U.S., the U.S. is a pain in the butt when it comes to the government and how they view cryptocurrency and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
So until Project Hydro, I guess the layer 2 set of protocols, is able to set up this corporation in a foreign country, we can't really use those funds yet. We can only use them for development, and that should happen in the next month or two. So all of that stuff is going to start getting ramped up.
Okay, awesome. I would like to say thanks for your time, first of all, for this interview, for this talk. I would like to tell our viewers that they can follow your project, news, releases, and everything on website, social media, and all other links for work applications and things we discussed. We're gonna include links to all of that in the description, so you can have a look at their project. Thank you, Mark.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being on the channel. If you guys have any questions about the project, or just want to kind of shoot the shit and just talk about anything, feel free to come to the Telegram group. It is at Project Hydro. Feel free to come and just say hello, get involved, and I hope to maybe be back on the channel soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.